right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Things First. Today is Monday, March 28th. This is Simply Cyber's daily morning cybersecurity threat briefing, and I'm your host, Gerald Auger. In the next 30 minutes, you're going to be delivered the top cybersecurity news of the day, and I will provide expert analysis on each of those stories, maybe some spicy hot takes too. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll be talking about what it means to you as a practitioner or for folks looking to break into the industry so you can crush that interview. Shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions, Eric Taylor's group. They're your partner for incident response, ransomware protection, and business recovery. Seriously, if your company is dealing with a hot issue, you may want to keep that number on speed dial. If you are live with us, I see you guys in chat. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. It can be tough. If you're watching on replay, talking to you West Coast people, thanks for catching the stream. If you want to jump right to the news, that clock in the corner is ticking down. And when it gets to 0, we're going to start. But until then, we're going to be welcoming folks to the stream, seeing how people's weekends went, and just generally having a good time. What's up, Chris Word? Good to see you. Scott Powell, I see you. Alsa, Marlon, I saw Ms. Julian. Venice, huh? What's up, Bryce? That's pretty sweet, pretty cool. Hey, Chinyuri, good to see you. Ashlyn Matthews, Cybersecurity Central. Guys, get ready for your headlines of the days. If you guys don't know, Cybersecurity Central on LinkedIn, you can see them in chat right there. Here, maybe I can, can I do this? How do I, hold on one second. I want to recognize this here. Where's my cybersecurity headlines? Crummy. There it is. If you guys connect with Cybersecurity Central right here on LinkedIn, every Monday they release like a nice, tightly curated digest of all of the like webinars, live streams, content for the week that we're entering. So for the week of March 28th. And it's like all laid out there with links and explanation on why you would care. It's like fantastic. It's part of my Monday morning routine, frankly. All right. Yes, Mel Cobbs. Look at this. Crushing it with the GRC interview. Big fan. Hey, guys, I want to tell you, too, I got messaged by someone. I'm going to have a meeting with him on Wednesday, but he is a GRC hiring manager and need to make a shout-out command with links to people on Nightbot. Yeah, definitely, BSEC. Talk to me afterwards. Explain to me what that means, and I'll do it. Hiring manager for GRC staff reached out to me and said he's interviewed multiple people who have already started referencing the GRC Analyst Masterclass in their interview and why they are equipped to take on the GRC job. So shout out to, well, I mean, it's a little like self-grandifying, but like shout out to the GRC Analyst Masterclass because it's making differences. It's helping people get that confidence to crush the interview, get the knowledge to be able to, speak, to the content in the interview. So I love it. That was the whole point, right? That was the point. Oh my God, the coffee. Hey, Dusano, good to see you. BSEC, thank you. Bill Green, I see you. Amanda Parker. Oh my God, good morning, Jason. You got it, man. Hang out. Dallas, Texas. I see you, James. Woo! It was a long weekend. Yesterday was a long day. I had a birthday in the family. Full day of activities. Full day of activities. So we're going to get right into it, y'all. Woo! Oh, real quick as an aside, if you want, I'm just exploring this, playing with this. If you want, I am whatever. Like I've had an Instagram account for Simply Cyber for like a year or two. Never did anything with it. I got an idea this weekend. I kind of did a beta test on it. It seems to work. So if you guys are interested on Instagram, Gerald Auger, Simply Cyber, I'm going to start posting a lot of content over there. I'm thinking of quiz questions and market related stuff. Obviously, it'll always be cybersecurity related, but trying to think of how to use that platform in a way that actually makes sense instead of just like reposting Simply Cyber stuff, YouTube, because that's not really what I want to do. Okay, guys, here's the deal. Timer has set down. Good luck, Justin, on that Sec Plus tomorrow. Guys, if you want to play along, go over to cisoseries.com. David Spark and his gang are always dropping the heat every single day on SIC Daily Podcast. It allows us to piggyback. So if you don't want to be part of First Things First, consider just cisoseries.com on your own time because it's a great resource. Okay, let us dig into the news of the day.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Monday, March 28, 2022. Critical Sophos Firewall Vulnerability allows remote code execution. Assigned the number CVE 2022-1040 with a 9.8 CVSS score, the vulnerability allows a remote attacker who can access the firewall's user portal or web admin interface to bypass authentication and execute arbitrary code. The vulnerability was responsibly reported to Sophos by an unnamed external security researcher via the company's bug bounty program. Sophos has released hotfixes that should, by default, reach most instances automatically.
Okay, so this, Jesus, talk about coming out hot for the week, guys. This is from March 27th, so yesterday's news story. Listen, this is not good. This is a 9.8 CVSS score, which should get your antennas up. But what's really interesting about this particular vulnerability is that it's on the firewall, which means typically we will have the firewall. You can have them internally to segment stuff, but a lot of times the firewall is your perimeter defense, right? Which means that it can get hit from, it's possible to get hit externally. And if this requires no authentication to access, that means anyone could get into it and then either bring down your firewall and allow a lot more stuff going on, denial of service you by turning the firewall all the way up, deny. You could do, any deny. Like you could do a couple different things. Long story short, you definitely want to get this remedied if you have it in your environment. I also want to point out, which I really like, Sophos Firewall has the capability to allow automatic installations of hotfixes. I like that. But at the same time, guys, a lot of times, hold on one second. Let me get rid of this. What's this doing here? Let's get that. You want to be really careful with production systems and auto patching, especially something that's as critical and as in line as a firewall. Because think about it. All the network traffic is potentially passing through that firewall. So if you hotfix it automatically at, whatever, let's say 3 a.m. in the morning, and it bricks it somehow, or it gets stuck in like a reboot loop or whatever, you're down, right? Unless you configure the firewall to have pass through, which is possible. I don't know about this Sophos firewall, but it's possible that you could denial of service yourself, right? So you really got to be careful with these auto patches. That's just food for thought on firewall deployment and auto patching of systems. Auto patching your endpoint, go for it. Auto patching your phone, go for it. Auto patching a mission critical network appliance that's in line on your on your network. You may want to do a risk analysis on that one before you hit go and leave for the weekend.
We made a mistake delaying the Lapsus hack disclosure, says Okta. Okta has admitted this mistake in delaying disclosure of the hack from Lapsus that took place in January. Additionally, the company has provided a detailed timeline of the incident and its investigation activities. The hack from the Lapsus data extortion group originated at Cytel, Okta's third-party provider of customer support services. We want to acknowledge that we made a mistake, says Okta, further admitting that it is ultimately responsible for its contracted service providers like Cytel. Okta claimed that in January it wasn't aware of the extent of the incident, which the company believed was limited to an unsuccessful account takeover attempt targeting a Cytel support engineer. The incident has resulted in a 20% drop in Okta's share prices as of Friday.
Yeah. I never saw the movie, but it makes me think of it. Sandra Bullock, our product is crisis, or our mission is crisis, or whatever. This is Okta coming out definitely from influence from the board of advisors who were like, dude, you need to get in front of this and publicly say that we made a mistake. Everybody knows that we made a mistake. We need to say we made a mistake because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And 20% share value going down in a week, that does not align with what the investors want. Okay. So that's what this is. They do a nice job of laying out the timeline, which I really appreciate. Long story short, Okta noticed this in January, and it's the end of March, right? So they waited a few months. This is a really well integrated kind of federated authentication solution. They probably didn't they probably had contractual terms with their vendors or with their clients about when they would report breaches and security incidents, which they probably violated in this case. So really bad look for Okta. Again, they said 2.5% of their client population was affected, which may or may not be true. It doesn't look like Lapsus did anything with this. Again, it came out over the weekend that Lapsus was a younger threat actor group, meaning in age. A 16-year-old was supposed to be the criminal mastermind out of England, operators in Brazil. So that doesn't mean that they couldn't have been malicious and done real damage. But again, the story here is that Okta tried to basically tap dance around this incident not being an issue. And, it is. Again, this isn't financial advice, but go ahead and put a pin in this one. The stock is trading at 138.11, down 20% in the last 5 days. Again, not investment advice, but go ahead and revisit this stock in 60 days. I'd be curious and not surprised if it had returned to its operating value once this wave recedes back into the ocean.
CISA adds 66 new flaws to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. According to Binding Operation Directive BOD 2201, reducing the significant risk of known exploited vulnerabilities, federal civilian executive branch agencies have to address the identified vulnerabilities by April 15, 2022, to protect their networks against attacks exploiting these flaws in the catalog. Experts recommend also that private organizations review the catalog and address the vulnerabilities in their own infrastructure. The oldest flaws in this set of 66 recently added date back to 2005, while the newest ones have a 2022 CVE date.
Okay, guys, this is okay. So this is a new story in that it's new flaws, but this isn't a new story because CISA is doing this. Let me explain to you what's happening right now if this is new to you, because this is fantastic. One of the problems with vulnerability management is that there's like a million vulnerabilities and there's more every day. And how the heck do I patch all these things? I don't have time. I'm trying to do operations. I can't reboot that machine. Get off my back. And then at some point, if you've worked in industry in vulnerability management, you know exactly what I'm saying about this. At some point, you're going to have so many vulnerabilities that you just give up, right? I'm not saying that you like kick your feet up and quit, but you'll just try to do the patching. You'll try to like reduce the number of critical ones, and you'll almost become desensitized or beat down, especially at larger organizations. What I'm saying is absolutely true. You will not get to zero vulns, okay? Even if you eliminated low and medium, right? So all you had is high and critical, you will not get to zero, right? It is the most frustrating part of vulnerability management, okay? So with understanding of that reality, okay, CISA has done this binding operational directive, which is only applicable to federal systems. But if you are prudent, you would take your private sector network, right? Your manufacturing network, your healthcare network, and you would take advantage of this. What they're doing in this binding operational directive is they're calling out vulnerabilities that are actively being exploited. If you've taken the GRC class or you've worked in industry, a vulnerability is just a weakness, no big deal. It's only real bad when it's being exploited. That means there's a tool that bad guys can use to punch through the weakness, whether it's to get access to a system, to bring it down, it doesn't matter. Just having a vulnerability isn't a big deal. My window to my house or my front door right now is unlocked. That's a vulnerability. Anyone can walk in. It's not being exploited right now. Like there isn't threat intel saying that there's bad guys walking around shaking front doorknobs, right? So it's a temporal risk score. Now, if CISA came out and said, hey, there's bad guys walking up and down this street, checking front doors, that informs me that this just became a higher priority and I need to go downstairs and lock the door. I need to patch that vulnerability or remediate it. You see what I'm saying? So by CISA doing this, they're allowing us the power to at least address the vulnerabilities that are most likely to be exploited. And 66 is way more manageable, way more palatable than a million, or let's say 80,000 vulnerabilities, which is not an outrageous number, guys. I'm serious. In larger orgs, like 80,000 vulnerabilities is not uncommon. So way to go, CISA. You should almost bookmark this page that they have right here. Right here. It's CISA.gov, known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. I'll put it in chat, but you definitely want to patch this. Patch it, Jerry. You need to go here if you're responsible for patch management or your own systems or anything. Okay, here we go.
Google issues emergency fix for Chrome 0-day. Tracked as CVE 2022-1096 and considered high severity, this security hole is described as a type confusion bug in the V8 JavaScript and WebAssembly engine. The bug was reported by an anonymous researcher, and Google has yet to determine the bug bounty amount for this issue. We are aware that an exploit for this bug exists in the wild, the company notes in its advisory, without providing further details on the vulnerability itself or on the observed exploitation. A patch for this flaw has been included in Chrome 99.0.4844.84, which is now rolling out for Windows, Mac, and Linux users. By the way, this is not the same 0-day bug that we reported here on Friday as being exploited by North Korean threat actors.
Okay, guys, so I just had a pretty spicy flip out about CISA and vulnerabilities and stuff like that. This is just another one, so I won't get too much up into this, but okay, but Google Chrome, keep it patched. Another 0-day has come out. They said that there is an exploit in the wild, meaning that it's out there. And it, anyone could get it. It could get published to GitHub today, whatever. It was submitted by an anonymous resource, which is not uncommon, right? Not all security researchers want to be known. Not all of them want to be investigated, right? I mean, just as an example, like why you wouldn't. Look at Marcus Hutchins, okay? This guy, feel bad for him. He publicly releases the kill switch for WannaCry, and he had done some bad stuff earlier in his life, or black hat stuff, gray hat stuff earlier in his life, and he came onto the scene because of that WannaCry kill switch, and then ended up spending a year or two in the United States. I don't know if he ever went to jail, but like definitely in the legal court systems, and couldn't go back to England for a while and stuff. So anyways, some people like to remain anonymous when they do stuff like this. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the value is knowing that the vulnerability is out there and that it can be patched. So long story short, patch your Chrome or start using a different browser.
varonis.com/CISO series. Kaspersky is added to the FCC list that bans Huawei and ZTE from U.S. networks. The security company is now being listed as a company that poses, quote, an unacceptable risk to the national security of the United States, end quote.
Whoops.
This decision essentially puts Kaspersky in the same class as Chinese telecommunications hardware makers Huawei and ZTE, which were among the first added to the list in 2021. In a public notice issued Friday, the agency said that the Kaspersky decision is based on a 2017 ruling by the Department of Homeland Security, which banned the company's products and services from U.S. government use. Kaspersky, however, states that such charges are unsubstantiated and suggests the ban has more to do with the current, quote, geopolitical climate, end quote.
Okay, so, I mean, Kaspersky was already banned in U.S. federal systems. Now the FCC has gone one step further and added to a list of national security threats. Guys, I just pulled up the list of national security threats. If you look at it, it's basically Russia and Chinese companies. Without getting too macro level, the world economy after the mid 80s, early 90s, globalized, and it's like one big economy, and now we're beginning to slowly decouple that, kind of with Russia and China economy, and NATO and United States and the rest of the world economy. So I'm not saying that this is directly related to that, but this kind of furthers that division. And obviously, Kaspersky isn't happy about it because they're losing market in the United States. And that, they're claiming it's political because of the current conflict in Eastern Europe. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but at the end of the day, it's definitely on the list. So I don't know exactly what this means, like whether or not it's allowed to be sold in the United States or if you're not allowed to use it in the United States. But long story short, if you're using Kaspersky and you live in the United States, you may want to investigate a little bit deeper on what this impact is for you and your organization, because you may have to pivot quicker than normal. Also, not being cynical here, but being capitalistic and just having been around the road a few times. I wouldn't be surprised if competitors to Kaspersky, let's say Sophos or WebRoot or SentinelOne or any of these guys, start offering a discounted transition plan package where, hey, if you're on Kaspersky and you want to get off of it, 40% off and free professional services to implement. Give us a call. Like I wouldn't put that past. I wouldn't put that past the company to do.
Hackers remotely start and unlock Honda Civics with a $300 technology. Keyless car entry exploits are nothing new, but this particular key fob hijack issue with some Honda vehicles manufactured between 2016 and 2020 is, according to the Register, a demonstration that auto manufacturers haven't adapted their technology to keep up with known threats. This security weakness, tagged CVE 2022-27254, was discovered by Ayapan Rajesh, a student at University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, along with someone with the handle Hacking Into Your Heart. According to the duo, various Honda vehicles send the same unencrypted radio frequency signal for each door open, door close, trunk open, and remote start. This allows for an attacker to easily eavesdrop on the request and conduct a replay attack.
Okay, first of all, it was UMass Dartmouth, but shout out to UMass, my alma mater. Go Minutemen. Tough break on the NCAA Men's Hockey Championship. Okay, this is, I don't want to say new, hacking remote key fobs. Guys, all it is a radio transmission from a device to a receiver on a car. This technology has been around for a while. Apparently, Honda's been mailing it in as far as security goes because it's just the same code. It's not encrypted. It's easy to duplicate, which is what the researchers have done in this case. A couple of things I want to point out. A, you got to build the thing. You got to know how to build it. It's $300, right? So, and then you get to unlock a Honda Civic. Bad guys who are going to steal cars, maybe they're going to target Honda Civics. Maybe if you got like some souped up Fast and the Furious 7 Honda Civic, right, with a 6 spoiler and a sticker kit, maybe that one gets stolen. But like, this isn't Maseratis and Lamborghinis where the value or the risk of stealing it is commensurate with the penalty of getting caught, right? There's a Honda Civic. So I will say this, though, at a bigger level. I love that researchers are working on this, like unlocking cars, taking control of cars, like Charlie Miller I think it was Charlie Miller in the Jeep Cherokee. Like, it's really cool. It's splashy headlines. DEF CON has had an automotive hacking village for probably 6 years now. Like, this is an area of research. So maybe you're trying to get into cyber or you're thinking about it or you're a student right now and like me talking about CISA and vulnerability management makes you want to like stick a chopstick in your ear. Maybe this is where your excitement is and your passion lies. Working, like maybe you are a gearhead and you want to work on cars, but from a cyber perspective, there is an area of opportunity. There's an entire subculture within our industry on automotive hacking, and this is just part of it. So if this is interesting to you, I recommend you dig into the automotive village at DEF CON and look at some other research.
Precursor malware infection may be a sign you're about to get ransomware, says startup. Lumu Technologies founder and CEO Ricardo Villadiego suggests that Precursor Malware, which is essentially reconnaissance malicious code, lays the groundwork for a full ransomware campaign to come. Companies that can find and remediate that Precursor malware can ward off the ransomware attack, he says. He bases his statements on a study of more than 2,000 companies that Lumu monitors, in which every ransomware attack came with other malware preceding it and paving the way. Lumo collected information from such aspects as DNS queries, network flows, access logs, firewalls, and proxies, and correlates the data to identify whether any asset is trying to contact an adversarial infrastructure. A better way to operate, he says, is by assuming you are compromised and let your network prove otherwise.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to be objective here and not judgy. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. So yes, ransomware, precursor malware. Guys, this isn't like, I appreciate that this guy is a founder of a startup and he's definitely trying to get his name out there and do a news story. So people are like, oh, what is Lumo? Let me look into it. I'm surprised this story didn't just go as short to say, in order to detect precursor malware, check out Lumo Technologies. Okay. So let's just put that aside for a second. Precursor malware. Yes. Like, look at Emotet, TrickBot, Ryuk, which was like all the rage in 21 and in late 2020. Like, this is standard. Like, you can do it, but most times you don't just dump ransomware on someone and blow it up. Like, you do need to understand, listen, when bad guys detonate ransomware, what they need to understand is, what business do I have? Like, how critical are they? How much do they make, right? Because ransomware actors know, listen, if you hack a $5 billion company and you hack a $32 million company, both great targets, right? You got great victims there. If you ask the $5 billion company for $50 million, they might pay it. Like, very, very likely. That's 1% of their revenue. What's 1%? 1% is a stroke check and get out of my face. If you ask the $32 million company for $50 million, that is more than 130% of their annual revenue. They're going to tell you, piss off, right? So you need to know who your victim is. A lot of these guys, unless you're like an APT that's targeting specifically like this vendor or this business, because you know that what they are and who they are, and or you got insider knowledge or something like that. For the most part, fishers are going to fish like, and then find out who they got, what they got, and then attack appropriately, right? So, yeah, whatever, precursor malware. Maybe I'm just too close to this and this is obvious to me, but like, yes, if you see malware, you've got a problem and it's very likely going to get worse. Bad guys don't drop malware and then they're like, oh, I guess I'm good. Like, peace. No, like, they get in, they compromise, they establish persistence, they move laterally, they figure out the assets, they steal it, exfil data, ransomware you, and then light a cigar on $100 bill because they just got Fat City. Jesus. All right. I don't even know why I'm so amped up about this story. Let me spicy this up here. Why is my spicy not working? There we go. Sorry, guys.
Frosty's NFT operators arrested over $1.1 million rug pull scam. 2 alleged operators of the Frosty's NFT rug pull have been arrested and charged by U.S. law enforcement. The pair, both 20 years old, allegedly operated Frosty's, a non-fungible token project that at the outset looked professional and offered quirky cartoon art. However, investors who handed over cryptocurrency to purchase the NFTs in January this year were alerted to a potential scam when the Frosty's Discord server vanished alongside the original project's Twitter profile, after having briefly displayed the message, "I'm sorry." Rug pulls are similar to exit scams performed by cryptocurrency exchanges and pump and dump meme stock frauds. The pair in this case are facing 20 years for wire fraud if convicted and were working on a second NFT scam called Embers at the time of their arrest.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, these guys, I'm glad. Okay. Listen, like I said, I did some research. Okay. First of all, let me do this.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
All right, hold on. Go. All right, hold on. My dogs are losing their mind over there. Listen, I did a bunch of research on NFTs. It is scam city over there, right? Like, wicked scam city. You can do a rug pull. Okay, hold on. Hold on, now I'm going to flip out for real. Listen, a rug pull is where you like pump the crap out of some NFT project that's going to be the next crypto dudes or whatever, the next invisible apes or or Angry Apes or whatever the heck that is called, whatever. The Bored Apes Club. Yeah, it's going to be the next thing. You're going to get wicked rich. Period. That's it. That's what it is. And then they create these projects and they get everybody wicked amped up about it. This looks legit, right? This looks legit. You can buy these things. And they're going to get all amped up. And then after the mint, which is the day that all these things come out and everybody buys them, the project owners own all of these. And they're literally selling each one for like $2,000, say. And there's usually, let's say, they made $1 million. So let's say there's 200. They get their $1 million. Me, you, and everybody else in First Things First is holding our little frosty NFT, and we're like, yes, this is going to make us $1 million. And then these guys close the project down and tell you to piss off. That's what's happening, and it's completely. This whole area is unregulated. I'm actually kind of curious, like what law they're going to be held under. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Okay, good. 20 years is how old they are, and they're going to get a long time. This story, like, listen, I'm glad there are so many people doing rug pulls right now in the NFT space that these two need to be made an example of. Somebody needs to be held accountable. Somebody needs to be the face of like fraud in NFT space to scare the crap out of everyone else doing it. I am not kidding you, people. Do not. In my opinion, I would not invest in NFTs. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. NFTs, it's a cesspool over there. Lots of scams, lots of bots, lots of lying. Like, I'll show you one last thing. Like, just to show you, like, by the way, you can see that these things are all worth like nothing now. Here's another one, right? Let me see if I can do this. OpenSea Cunning Wolf. Check this out. Let me do this. I just want to show you because this is another like way to do fraud. Okay. Explore. Where's my search? There it is. Look at all these things. You can have no idea to know whether or not one of these is. Hey, look. I don't know if you can see this, guys. There's one called Cunning Wolf. Okay. Are we here still? Cunning Wolf. This one right here. See how there's 5,000 NFTs in this project? This is the legit one. They are well published. We're going to have our mint date on, say, like February 27th. So it already happened. These other ones create Cunning Wolf. Anyone can create them. This one's got 45. This one's got 100. This one's got 1.6 thousand. These three have nothing to do with the project at all. This is literally someone just created 45. They went to the actual Cunning Wolf project, right-click saved, right? Because that you can do that. Right-click save, then uploaded to a new project called the Cunning Wolf, and they're selling it. See how there's two owners? It's two people who are either one guy who's a scammer and then one person who fell for it, or two people trying to scam and they haven't sold it to anyone. The point is, this is just another way to perpetrate fraud. That isn't even a rug pull. This is even arguably legal because people aren't doing the due diligence to find out if they're buying crap or not. Anyways, I'm sorry, but the whole NFT space, I couldn't take enough showers after I finished my research in that space to feel clean. That's what's going on there.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. Okay, so that's going to do it for today's First Things First. Yeah, if you guys, there might be some stories in here of people getting scammed or frauded or whatever through an NFT project. So, I'm sorry if that did happen to you. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for Monday, March 28th. First Things First. Special thanks to Barricade Cyber Solutions for sponsoring the stream. Guys, you can tell if you've been here the entire episode, you saw me start off slow. You saw the coffee kick in. You saw me flip out. I'm ready. I'm ready to take on my job now. This is how I get all lit up for my work. And this is why First Things First is literally the first thing first for me every day. Because now I'm ready to go buck wild up on my job, up on my work, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you enjoy it, I know there's 100 of us right now. Share it with someone. I'm telling you, I really think there's value in us getting together every morning and going through these stories. You can go to simplycyber.io/FTF or share that link with others and they can find it. And, we have a good time, and you know it because you've been here. Be good, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. School is in session until the end of April, so I'll still be teaching at university. So it'll be 10 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, March 29th. And I guess I really should have shared this one last thing, guys, because I have been pumping it. I came in kind of hot today, so I wasn't ready for this. But give me a second, I'll show you. This Thursday, for First Things First, if you are into a bit more technical stuff, we're going to be having Dr. Josh Stroshine on. This dude is a reverse engineering, assembly eating, malware analysis terminator. He's literally like a T-1000, except instead of terminating targets, he terminates malware and assembly language. He's going to come on. He's going to tell us what you need to get into that space professionally, pitfalls, things to look out for. And then we're going to have him rip open a binary, put on some gloves, get in there deep. It might get graphic. I might have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the stream because that's how hot it's going to get. But yeah, so I hope you can come over. Guys, be good. Thanks for everything. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Cheers.